like why we require the protobuf. The one thing is clear, it is a backward compatible. Backward compatible means, let's suppose currently I'm develop a protobuf file of version 1, and here we have a protobuf version 2. So these they both are backward compatible, means that the new feature that have been declared in the this version 2 will be like deprecated for this will be not deprecated, will be not available for this protobuf, but we can but it can perform the operation that have been required for this protobuf 1. Okay, yeah, basically when we are increasing from one protobuf 1 to 2 and 3, so we can perform the backward compatibility so that it can cater all the previously developed software solutions. So it's provide an efficient encoding. Efficient encoding I have already explained you. Like in the case, I will again I will repeat it down. In the case of JSON, we are treating it as a string, complete string. So each character in the string is consuming a 8 byte. So in total, it will be taking a lot of time. But in the case of protobuf, you can see it will be just reading the values. Okay, it will be more focusing on the value, and that it is also providing different types of value. Like in the case of byte, it will not consume a uh, complete byte. It will take a byte only, bit only. It just required the bit only, and that's why it is using an efficient encoding. It is true, protobuf is using a metadata, better performance. Better performance means like encoding and all these things will be done at the core level. And in the case of a JSON file, we have encoding in the string, then we have to convert it in, it will be converted to the byte, and in bytes it will be treating it differently. But in the case of this, in the case of protobuf, it will be directly machine ready, means that it will be very flexible with the machine. Strongly typed. Strongly typed means like in the case of JSON and XML, we can define the values. Like in the case of integer, JSON is providing like long and maximum int, but in the case of protobuf, it is providing a different version of int, like 64, 32-bit, and 8, 16, all this it is providing. So through which it is becoming an efficient. And also you can see, like if you are specific with these data, so it will very easier to encode it. If we don't require any value that have been higher, so we can use a lower one, and through which it will be becoming efficient, better performance, and strongly typed. Automatically generating the parsing code. So in the case of in the case of JSON, if we want to perform some operation and anything, we have to encode it in our language, like in the machine code, so that it will be easier. I'm giving example of it. Let's suppose in the JSON file, I have an we have in column age, that is 32. If I want to read this one, then I have to perform the parsing. I have to pass complete JSON file, and then I have to fetch this value, right? After performing the parsing, then I am able to fetch this 32 bits. But these things I have to do. Mostly people are using libraries, and through which they can perform these things. In the case of Java, you can see if I have to do such thing, I have to use some library through which I can use this value, convert it to like Pojo or some other model, so that I can easily access it. But all these things have been done automatically in the case of Protobuf. Okay, next let's move to the next video. So we will compare about like what is Protobuf and XML. I think I have mostly compared with the JSON, because mostly we're using the JSON file. But in the case of XML also, XML is providing us a human readable code, but it is bit tricky or taking extra time for making it compatible with the machines. So this is the one scenario, this is the one thing we have to do. And other thing you can see, it is similar with the JSON. And let's move to an example of it. Okay, okay, so we have a person, okay, in XML, and then we have a name of it, and then we have an email of it. A same thing we can do in the protobuf. We'll declare the name, we declare the string email and string, and the amount of data, amounts of byte it will be consumed in the XML, it is 69 bytes. And in the same thing with the protobuf, it's only consuming the 28 bytes of data. And for the parsing, it will be taking 500 nanoseconds to the 1000 nanoseconds, but in the case of protobuf it is taking 100 to 200 nanoseconds. Advantage: protobuf are simpler and are 3 to 10 times smaller. 3, I can say sometime it is more than that, 10 times. Okay, it is very short, it is taking very less time, and faster. It's obviously faster because it is like very near to the machine, bare machine. It's generate the data access classes that are easily accessible to the programming. Disadvantage, you can see like it is not a human readable code.